Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're doing some indoor gardening. It's winter and it's time to do some indoor gardening and enjoy some plants inside. So I've just gotten a little shipment of some brand new Amaryllis bulbs. I'm really excited. I'm going to be adding these to my collection. So nice healthy bulbs. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how to plant these at this stage and then show you how I'm going to do it. So just walk you through it at home. So I'm super excited to add to my collection. You may have seen a couple of my other Amaryllis videos. I have one on a beautiful gift that I made for my sister-in-law, and then also one on how to care for the flowers. So Amaryllis, typically we see them flowering around Christmas time. That's actually part of their natural cycle. So if you're pulling your bulbs out of dormancy, you will want to plan 8 weeks ahead for the flower. So if you want them to flower at the holidays, think about early November. Or if you're just thinking about when you want them to flower as a gift or yourself, just plan on it taking roughly on average about 8 weeks. So this one here is a new one called Neon. So it's going to have a hot pink flower. So typically you'll see them on stems about 24 inches tall, multiple flowers in multiple stages. So you'll get about 2 weeks flowering time. But they are sold this way. So they come shipped like this. So you can purchase them at your local nursery or local store. But they are sold by the diameter of the fattest part of the bulb. So this one here is pretty healthy, and the larger they are, the more flowers, the more flowering stalks you're going to get. So when you're buying them a little bit smaller, and some of the others I have that I'm unboxing are a little smaller, that just means you may not get a flower your first year, or if you do, it's just going to be a small smattering of flowers. So what to do when your bulbs arrive or you first get them home? So I want to suggest that you try to pot them up as soon as possible. So don't let them sit around. Try to go ahead and get them in their soil and their pots as soon as you can. If you can't, keep them stored in a cooler location. So basement or garage is totally fine. So I'm going to start by just showing you the bulbs that I have here today. And to give them an edge, I'm going to be placing them in some tepid water. So you can soak them for about a half a day is ideal. I'm not going to be soaking them that long just for purposes of walking you through what I'm doing today. But I have one here soaking in a little container of some tepid water. So that's going to wake them up a little bit. And then the other variety that I have that is a little bit smaller. This one is called Magical Touch. So this one's going to be a really pretty red, and it's got a white edge on it. So look at the difference in size. Both healthy bulbs, but this one here is just going to give you more flowers sooner. So we're going to go ahead and soak this one here and finish unboxing these beauties. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I just want to talk about the other materials that I have on hand if you're following along at home. So I have some containers, and we're going to talk more about how to select your container in a bit. I have some indoor potting mix, and I really like this here. So if it's got some fertilizer in it, that's wonderful. I've got my trowel, my gloves. I want to be able to label my Amaryllis. So I have some labels and some markers. And then I have some different types of moss for some top dressing, which is optional. So, and we're going to talk about that more at the end of the video as well. So when you're selecting your container, it doesn't matter so much what the material is. So it could be clay, it could be pottery, it could be some really pretty ceramics. I have a nice assortment here. But it could also be plastic. But the key is, the must in choosing the container is it must have a drainage hole. So I love these here because they come with the tray. So the other ones here, I'll just need to find a little tray to put underneath. So material, not so important, but drainage hole is important. And the other thing that is really important for your amaryllis is the size. So you can see here that they will have good size root system, and they have some height to them, especially the neon here. So you want to make sure your container is deep enough for the roots to be able to spread out and grow. But you don't want the diameter to be much larger than the diameter of the bulb. And that's really important because amaryllis bulbs like it snug. That's how they're really going to thrive. So I would say the diameter of your container ideally should be about 2 inches in diameter larger than your bulb. So it should have roughly about an inch. And I'm looking at the widest, the fattest part of the bulb here, an inch all the way around. So I brought out a bit of selection here just to kind of play around and just to show you and demonstrate how I'm going to select my container. Now I love this container here, deep enough, no drainage hole. So this would only work if I had another insert to plant the bulb in and to slide it in here. Now I have some bigger containers here, and this is an option for me in case I want to plant multiple in the containers. And both of these have a nice drainage hole in the bottom. This one has a couple here. So this would be a really pretty display if I'm able to fit 2 or 3 in each of these. But the key is they still have to be pretty snug for them to be really happy. So we're going to play around with that. Okay, so let's decide on who we're going to plant in what here. So I do really love this clay pot here for one of the larger bulbs. And I think for the smaller, we're going to have to go with the smaller pots here. So the red, remember this one is red with a white ruffle, is going to look really pretty contrasted with the blue. So I have 3 of those. And although I love to do multiples here, I'm thinking that I'm not going to be able to fit 3 of these in here. And 3 of these in here, that's going to be much too big. So we'll save this for another project. Stay tuned. But let's see if this will work here. So I think I might be able to do 3 of these here. Yes. Okay. So I think we'll try to do 3 there in that box, and then the larger ones we're going to have to play around with a little bit for some of these other containers. Other option, 2 of these. I'm actually really loving that. Okay, so you've gotten a glimpse on how I make my decisions here. There's a lot of options and there's a lot of playing around and experimenting. But I think final decisions have been made, and I'm going to do the 2 neons in this little clay window box here for a little display. And then I'm going to do the 3rd one. It fits really nicely in this blue, so it'll be a bright pink and a blue pot. And then I'm going to use the smaller containers for the red magical touch. Okay, So when you start off, we do have the drainage holes, which we talked about a little bit. And typically, if I had some rocks here, I'd put them in the bottom for some drainage. But I'm going to recycle these netting bags here. And I'm just going to put a little piece of netting over the holes so that the soil doesn't sift through. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that quick. And you're getting to see the frugal gardener in me here because I'm reusing and repurposing this netting. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit in the bottom just to cover the holes. And then we are just going to go ahead and fill our container a third of the way with the soil. Okay. So got them soaking. And these two I took out of the water. Now you want to plant them points up, roots down. So let's see, this works. So nestle them in here. And then when you fill the container, you want about 1/3 of the bulb exposed here. So you want to leave their shoulders exposed, their shoulders, so to speak. There. Okay, now I'm going to do my single neon in this deep blue container. Okay, we're finishing up our Amaryllis project here today. So I have the 3 Magical Touch here in the smaller pots, and then I have the 3 Neon here, all nestled in. So just a finishing touch, and again, this is optional. You can go ahead and top dress your bulbs with something a little more decorative. So I have some different types of moss here. You could also use some tiny shells or some pebbles or some little mini pine cones. Just get creative, and I think it just gives it a nice little finished look. I'm just going to make this look a little tidy. And then, of course, we want to give everyone a label. So I have 2 different options here. And I actually think I'm going to go with the smaller ones because the label is not the feature, the bulb is the feature. So I'm going to go ahead and label them, but not to hold you up, I want to talk quickly about Aftercare. So when you're done your project here, you want to make sure that you give everybody a little watering. And when you water, now this is really important, don't water the center of the bulb. You don't want any water to get in here because it'll sit in here and your bulb will rot. So you just want to go around the outside, give it a little water, and that's it. Then it's ready for a nice sunny windowsill. So you can give it some bright light. For now, we want to wake them up and then just keep the soil moist. So just check them every day or so and give them a little drink. And that's it, folks. So now we're going to wait our 8 weeks. And again, that's just the average time. It really depends on the variety. And we're going to have some beautiful amaryllis flowers to enjoy indoors. So thank you again for joining me. I appreciate all of you at home joining me, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, please go ahead and tap like, and subscribe to our channel because we have lots more fun gardening videos coming your way.